Hi, welcome to Comic Construction. Today I'm reviewing the story of They Were 11 by Moto Hagio. This book collects two stories. The first is They Were 11, which takes place in an era after humanity has started seriously exploring space and finds other life forms. Humanity forms alliances and rivalries with these other cultures. All of the groups then decide to form a federation to prevent conflict and, in the worst case scenario, war. This particular story follows a group of students taking a test to get into the Cosmo Academy, which is a very prestigious school. It's a rigorous test, and the final exam is for 10 applicants to live out a month on a derelict spaceship. As soon as the group arrives on the ship, they realize that there's an 11th person. Because they all took the final part of the test in spacesuits, nobody knows who was actually in the room taking the test. And this twist creates a Twilight Zone-styled mystery. The group tries to survive the test while also dealing with paranoia, as they don't understand why there's an 11th person and what that person's goals are. The main protagonist is Tadatos, Tada for short, who has the gift of intuition, which is sort of like being a psychic, but less detailed and more based on like a feeling. It's a compelling story with a lot of interesting depth coming from the exchange of cultural knowledge by the cast and the tension of them trying to get to know each other while feeling a strong sense of that paranoia. I found the story very compelling and an interesting study in sentient nature. There are some dated elements, of course. There are several scenes which feel very juvenile for such a serious story, but the reader has to remember that this manga is from 1975, and that explains those scenes. Moto Hagio clearly wanted to create something special that challenged the norms of its time, but shoujo at that point was still for children. There are some interesting concepts regarding gender and ideology, and They Were 11. It's truly an exceptional work. The second story in the book is Horizon of the East, Eternity of the West. The majority of the original cast returns, and Tada is once again the point of view character. This story is more about political strain between neighboring planets, and Tada and several other cast members are drawn into the politics and the intrigue. I found the story more straightforward, action-adventure, and filled with chases rather than the nuanced storytelling of the initial story. This book is very interesting, but I don't think I would read the second story again. It's just not as interesting or enjoyable as the first. Thanks for checking out my review, and if you find it helpful, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Thanks.